Yes, I guess you're wondering why I have a Danish flag behind me. That's because I got a Danish company, Smile Africa Denmark, which we put together, me and my girlfriend. And our product is corporate social responsibility. Everybody knows what CSR is, corporate social responsibility, where companies go in and they try to give back to their consumers or to the society from their profits and try to create certain sustainable projects that make the world a better place or such, which is all very good. I mean, good to think like that. But the only problem is that sometimes, that it is pure marketing or it is not as serious or as genuine as it should be. So therefore, we're going to specialize into making sure that companies deliver. And that means that we are going to define the corporate social responsibility, because I really don't think that companies should be left alone to do that. I don't think they have a right to. I think that is very much something that we as consumers need to be taking a stance and saying, is that corporate social responsibility should be a democratically owned concept or entity. And that is what Smile Africa is trying to do. It is registered in Denmark as Smile Africa Denmark, but what we'd really like to see is Smile Africa South Africa, Smile Africa Zimbabwe, Smile Africa Mozambique, Smile Africa right across the continent, and especially along the route of where I'm going to walk 18,000 kilometers. Yes, I'm going to walk 18,000 kilometers from Cape Town to Cairo, which is 18,000 kilometers. Of course, 18,000 kilometers is 18,000 kilometers. But I'm going to walk for water. And I chose water as a cause because I realized that water is the one commodity or one thing that all of us on this planet need, regardless of our species, whether we're animal or plant, and whether we are lions or gazelles, or whether we're Muslims or Christians, whether we're black or white or colored or Indian or whatever class people have here, from South Africa right up to Egypt. And whether you are Islamist or whether you are for the democracy in Egypt, which is my destination, Cairo, everybody really needs water. And so, for the different ways that people need water is the different ways that we're going to involve people and get them engaged in socioeconomic responsibility. So you could basically call me a socioeconomic strategist for socioeconomic cohesion, which is very interesting and exciting for me to do. And I'd like to present to you some of the tools that I'm going to use in delivering that. That's something that I really look forward to. Now, somebody's walking up the steps and trampling. I wish they wouldn't do that because it is distracting my recordings. Here we go. That's how it goes. That's how it goes when you record in a place like this with a Samsung camera. Anyway, Smile Africa Denmark has got a number of tools that we use in engaging people and also in mobilizing people, but also in ways of mobilizing funds. And I'd say that one of the most important one is Andersen Volunteer Agency. My surname is Andersen, and my stepfather in the way of the world is Mr. Andersen, but in my life he's my father because he brought me up. Andersen Volunteer Agency is basically established because we have pinpointed the different problems that keep Africa in poverty and the manners in which NGOs, not-for-profit organizations function in Africa, how they keep us in poverty, and how we can counter that. So that's the main thing with Andersen Volunteer Agency. So I'm very happy to start that because it's going to be very groundbreaking and very fulfilling, because it will be taking things a step further from where my parents have been, from their experience with development in Africa. I also have King of Africa Records. I got 14 albums of my own, mainly reggae music, but all manners of music still. And the work is going to be used to promote these. And I, as CEO of that, commit 70% of our profits into socioeconomic projects from Cape Town to Cairo. And then we also have Buy a Kilometer, which is a mechanism for raising funds for immediate causes, immediate needs, and even for long-term ones, or for anything that anybody out there might want. If you want to raise funds for an old people's home and you're in Argentina, or children's nursery and you're in Japan, you can just book me and basically get a premium text number and connect that to the account of your cause, and then get your people to be texting X amount of kilometers. So you book X amount of kilometers, say 500 kilometers, and then I make a video saying that you have booked me, which legitimizes it, and I put it on my Facebook page called Buy a Kilometer, and then basically get your friends around the world texting into whatever premium text numbers you may get in the different countries and with the different telephone mobile providers. So that's pretty smart, changing the world with one walk. Then I have the reggae dollar, which is my own currency. As you know, I am the king of Africa, so I have my own money, and it's called the reggae dollar. And it trades different prices. Sometimes it is one reggae dollar to $2, sometimes to $5, you know, depending on the market. But what it represents is fresh air, it represents repatriation from slavery, it represents reparations for slavery, it represents love between the races, it represents freeing the herb, you know, and those type of things. Most of the companies that we've approached for, most of the core companies that we've approached for the walk are Danish companies, so I'm looking out for Danish interests. And I registered my company as a tax-paying company, not as an NGO, because we're not interested in not paying tax. I believe in paying tax. I believe everybody should be believing in paying tax, and I believe that the best way to develop Africa is to widen the tax base. And so when we come as Smile Africa Denmark into Africa, we want to be encouraging companies that are widening the tax base, and so that we have trade and commerce and business as the main way. Because sometimes with the NGOs and not-for-profit organizations, they come into Africa and they have bigger budgets than our countries, and they're able, because of those budgets, to undermine our country's 5-year plans or 10-year plans or whatever. And sometimes they are a big chunk of our budgets as companies, which is not fair. So the right way is for us to be able to have revenue for our countries through taxes. So that is our main reason for being here in Africa, at Smile Africa, Denmark. Same thing for being in Denmark, we believe in paying taxes. So that's very short about what this project is about, and I will obviously explain deeper the different things that we have to explain. That's very short what we have here as a project, and I will obviously explain deeper in the different pages that we have on Facebook. I hope that you all get on board and that you all enjoy this. Basically, that is it. Basically, that is it for now, in a nutshell. I start walking on the 15th, Tuesday the 15th of October. Some of you will probably be seeing this after I've started walking, and it will take me about 2 years to walk. I will reach Cairo on the 15th, on the 1st of April 2015. That's when the walk will be over. But in the meantime, there will be some breaks, and obviously I'm hoping that I will be able to play at Roskilde Festival next year, if enough of you people vote for me to do a Reggae for Water project there. Maybe I should explain that Reggae for Water is actually going to be a series of concerts from Cape Town to Cairo. When I start walking now, I start to make all the scout work of finding the venues, finding the places that will be ideal for artists such as Ziggy Marley, Stephen Marley, the whole Marley clan basically, Morgan Heritage, you know, Alba Rossi, Gentleman, you know, UB40 obviously, and of course Burning Spear, Jimmy Cliff, and you know, the Congos and people like that who would love, it'd be a dream of mine to see them tour Africa, to do parts of Africa where we have large concerts or water, in the different contexts that we have with water. So I have a 60-page project description that anybody can send their email, and I'll send it to you so you can see who we have on board in terms of sponsors and who are our partners, what is my network, and you can also see my route. It is mapped out. You can see where I will be when. So if you want to come and walk with me for whatever cause, you can see on the map where I'll be at whatever time. Obviously that is subject to change. It can change depending on what happens. I could be sick or whatever, you never know. But that is it in a nutshell. So that explains, and flag and everything, why everything is the way it is. So this is my last week in Cape Town. I'm ready to go. Thank you.